Okay, in this quick video, we're going to go over how to make a simple payment calculator for different scenarios, purchase or buying new equipment, things like that. And over here in column B2, we're going to start with just titling this payment calculator. And we want to have different options for the different types of equipment we want to buy. So in this case, let's see, that's going to be a new forklift. And you have options between a Heister and a Yale and a Cat. And the Heister is brand new and it's going to be $40,000. And the Yale is going to be $25,000. And the Cat's going to be an old Cat for $9,000. And we're going to make these accounting just so that we keep all our numbers straight. And I'm going to use this macro key of G2, which is the same as doing Alt-H-A-N, and then the macro key of G3, which removes the decimal points, which is the same as Alt-H9, Alt-H9. Okay. What we're going to do here is let's just slide this over quick. So we do Control Spacebar, Control Plus, push that over, just to a little more space. What we want over here is we want the list of different forklifts that we're interested in. So the way to load that is going to be Alt-A for data, and we're going to go to V for data validation, and then V again for data validation. And we're going to change allow to list, and then our source, let's move this out of our way. Our source for our list is going to be the different forklifts that are in column E. I'm going to click OK. So now we should see our options there, and we do. And we want to be able to load our sales price into column C. So we're going to do that is do equals X lookup. Our lookup value is going to be the forklift that we're interested in column B. And then the lookup array is going to be the forklifts in column E. And then the return array are going to be the prices in column F. And we're going to just format that. Let's check the function real quick. That is working. All right, so that is our sales price. And we're going to stick with the Heister right now. And then we're going to calculate our down payment. And some loans require 20%, 10%, 30%, whatever. So this is going to be equals the sales price times our down payment amount. And we're going to change this to 10% for right now. So we got to do $4,000 down payment. So the financed amount is going to be the sales price minus the down payment, $36,000. Now we're going to load in our loan terms. So we're going to start with our interest rate. Let's say it's 8%. And let's say the term in years is going to be 4 years. And then we're going to do our payment. So our payment, if we start with just the regular payment function, which is PMT, and we hit tab to select that formula, if we do that, then we'll go through this in a second, but if we do that, we get a negative value. And we don't want a negative value. So the way you fix that is we're going to do equals negative PMT, and that'll flip the calculation. And we could do, so we're going to do our rate, which is our annual rate. We need to convert that to a monthly rate divided by 12. And then we want our number of payments. So total number of payments we're going to give to the bank to pay off this loan. It's going to be 4 years times 12 months. Gives us total months that we're going to pay inside that formula. And our present value is going to be the amount financed. So our payment is going to be $878.87 a month. And what you want to do is, if you have a really simple balance sheet sort of thing, sorry, not a balance sheet, income statement of cash flows, whatever you want to do, however you want to budget this thing, because you're trying to figure out hypothetically, hey, how much can we afford? And you can play with the variables, like if we get an interest rate at 7% or 6% or 9%, how much can we afford? If we spend $4,000 in cash and bring the finance amount down, versus $8,000 in cash and bring the monthly payment down? Do we have enough cash for the down payment to lower the payment to a monthly amount that we can afford? You need to have your statement of cash flows kind of figure that out. So if really quick, we just build a very simple one. So let's say our gross income, all income, let's just keep it simple. Just say it's $10,000 a month. Okay, let's just keep it at that. Then we're gonna do our expenses. And let's say that we have rent, we have utilities, internet, insurance, and expense 1, expense 2. And if we take that, we should be able to autofill just by selecting those two things, drag down and get 3, 4, 5. And that works with other stuff. If you do day 1, day 2, day 3, and then it'll autofill that in there. And we're going to change expense 7 to new forklift. And we're going to add in some expenses here. So what we do to kind of separate where our expenses start, we do Alt-H and then indent those over by doing 6. You can see it's up here in the alignment section. And what we're going to do is, let's say this is $5,000 a month. This is $2,000 a month. This is 500, 250, and then 325, and equals this plus 50. Fill down just for random sake, just to fill this out quickly. And then this new forklift is going to be formula driven by the payment up here. And now we got a total expenses. We want to flip that back over, or we want to push that back over to the left. So Alt-H5, push that back over. And we do Alt equals. Just push that Alt, hold down Alt and push the equals button, and you're going to get auto sum. And we get our auto sum here. Change that to accounting. We can already tell that our expenses are higher than our gross income. So what we want to do is we want to do our profit here, if you will. So it's going to be our gross income minus our total expenses. So we're underwater here. So let's lower something here already because our hypotheticals here are too high. So let's change this to 5. We're getting close. 250. Okay, so we're in the black here. Now you could do something here. If we take this, just to kind of make this stuff a little bit more realistic. Okay, so $43 is pretty low profit. So everything is formatted correctly, and then we want to do formatting here. Alt-H-B-U is double bottom border and single top border, and then we can just Control B, make that bold so we know those are our total expenses. And now what we could do is we go up here, and if we start changing stuff up here, 10%, right? Or we can see that if we do only 10% down, it raises the payment so high that we can't afford that. So if we got the cash in the bank and we really want that brand new Heister, we would do a 20% down payment. And maybe the $43 is still pretty thin profit margin. So maybe the bank will let us go 5 years. So hypothetically, if 176 was sort of the threshold there, then maybe this is the good decision. But what we can do over here is we say, well, what if we get the cat? Oh, now we got 679. So maybe the cat is the right decision. But the cat's going to be a higher interest rate. And you could drive a formula too where if you could make this cell here formula driven as well, where you say that, hey, a brand new Heister, because it's a 2025, is going to get you a 6.5% interest rate, and the Yale is going to get you 7.5% interest rate, and then the cat is so old you're gonna pay a 9 or a 8.5% interest rate. And then you would just do the same thing where the lookup value is going to be B3, and then the return array is going to be the G column. and that'll change these interest rates, because banks will do that. Banks will tell you if the model year, the vehicle is this age, it's this interest rate, and the older the vehicles are, the higher the interest rate goes up. And the term in years will change as well. So you could do that. But for a very simple calculation, your payment to take this, the point is to take this section here and load that into, use this to feed into your other financial forecast to see which forklift you could, or piece of equipment you could afford. So stuff like a new building or a new truck or a new lathe or a new whatever, you can use this to do some hypothetical scenarios on what it is that you need or what it is you can afford to get. And obviously there's other things that go into as well, like the older the vehicle is, the more you're going to spend per month in maintenance, but that's not a fixed expense per se. That's going to be a variable expense, and there's some standards out there you can calculate off of, but for the most part, the older the vehicle is, the more maintenance, newer the vehicle is. Maybe this brand new Heister comes with warranty or maintenance package or something like that. And so the total cost of ownership is less, but when you're talking about a fixed expense, you're now liable to pay. If we go with the Heister, you're liable for now $648.84 per month that you got to pay. There's no maintenance you can defer or anything like that. You got to pay that regardless. So hopefully this helps you with making some decisions and feed into your financial forecasts for making managerial accounting decisions.